Hello and welcome back to Roller Coaster Tycoon. Today we're actually going to play something that's called Open RCT 2. Now what that is, it's an open source kind of remastered version of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. There's like new features in the game, there's bug fixes. Also the game has kind of like an ultimate kind of sandbox mode that you can tap into. For example, you can go into lots of scenarios and you can actually choose what kind of rides and scenery are researched at the start of the game. Now this is something that you used to be able to do in the actual Roller Coaster Tycoon sort of sandbox mode. They've just taken it a step further and you can do it now anytime. You can be halfway through a level and you can change all those settings, which is quite exciting. Roller Coaster Tycoon was a video game that was developed, designed and programmed by a Scottish video game designer. It's an impressive piece of game design. There's been various different expansions released over the years. It came out in the sort of late 1990s. It was developed by somebody called Chris Sawyer, who was born in Dundee, Scotland. I think the other game that came out around that time was themepark, which I haven't really played very much. That was very popular, I believe, on the PlayStation 1. Roller Coaster Tycoon was released on PC. It's all about building a theme park, building rides and managing. Today we're going to play the first of a long series of videos I'm going to do, playing through all the scenarios of Roller Coaster Tycoon, so I'm super excited about that. And today we're going to play the first ever level, or scenario I should say, which is called Forest Frontiers. Now this is a sort of basic park, lots of space for us to build a theme park, so we're going to go into that in just a second. I think the game was released at some point on other platforms like the Xbox game console. There's been so many different expansions. There was one called, I think, Added Attractions, which I don't really remember very much. There was another one called Loopy Landscapes, and I don't really remember much about them. I kind of played the first game and then immediately went on to Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, which is very similar to the first game, which has got some improvements. What I really like about this game is just how detailed all of the graphics are, down to the rides, the scenery, the variety of rides that you've got. There's a large number of rides that you've got to choose from in the game. Another thing that's really good about the Roller Coaster Tycoon is management sort of tools you have in the game. One of the things I really liked when I played this when I was younger was all the things that this game teaches you. For example, usually you start a scenario with a loan of money to get your park started, and the longer that it takes you to pay off your loan, obviously you get interest added every year. So it teaches you things like, you know, having a loan has its downsides because you get charged for interest. It teaches you things like one of the features of the game is you can run marketing campaigns for your park, or you can advertise a particular ride. So for someone like myself who was maybe like 8 or 9 or 10, this game was very educational. I think this game is a sort of pioneer in teaching young people and older people how to actually go about managing your own theme park. I'm not sure if anybody wants to be a theme park entrepreneur, but I would definitely recommend buy Roller Coaster Tycoon, because it is an excellent way to have a grounding in the things that you would maybe need to consider if you're going to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if you ask all the theme park managers in the world. I'd be very interested to know how many of them have played Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think there'd be quite a fair number. Another of the highlights of the game is the music. The music's very good. It's typical theme park music. In particular, the carousel music is very memorable, and it certainly creates that atmosphere of being at a theme park. The sound effects are really good in the game. For example, the roller coasters sound incredible. Anyone who's ever built a haunted house in the game, you'll know that there's some sort of realistic screaming going on. and just general sort of crowd atmosphere. It's very well done. One of the best sound effects in the game has got to be the jingle jangle of guests paying either to ride or enter your park. It's a very satisfying noise. It's a brilliant feature of the game. So if you're just joining me for this Let's Play video and you're wondering what we're going to be doing, we're going to be playing through all the original Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 scenarios, and we're going to go into it as if it's a bit of a tutorial, just showing you some of the features, and then as we go on to the next few scenarios we'll kind of pick up the pace a bit. Things will be a bit more interesting maybe for you guys, and as I say, you can leave me comments. Another thing I remember when this game first came out was I used to collect and buy sort of PC Gamer magazines, and I used to always get demo discs, and I'm pretty sure I played the demo of Roller Coaster Tycoon and really wanted to buy the full game. I remember going to the game shops, which at that time you had small sections for console games, and 80% of the shop was PC gaming. Very different to what you see now. It was promoted quite heavily at the time. PC gaming magazines had lots of colourful pictures of what you can do in the game. It definitely was making you want to buy the game. And it was perfect timing to release the game as well. It came out at a time when there wasn't any theme park simulator games out there. It was extremely popular and a big success. For a game to be produced pretty much by one person is pretty amazing, and I don't know how many awards the game won, but certainly Chris Sawyer definitely deserves to be congratulated on this fantastic piece of video game design. It's incredible. This is a game that I'm sure is going to be loved and enjoyed by many different people, young and old, for many years to come. It's a classic game. I think it's always going to be something that people are going to revisit, and new people who've not been around when this game came out, it's an excellent chance for you to have a go at playing this game. So let's get to it. Let's get into the game and build our theme park. Okay, so we're going to play the first ever level of Roller Coaster Tycoon ever. I mean, this thing's incredible. We have got all the different games here that you can play, which is fantastic. So it says, deep in the forest, build a thriving theme park in a large cleared area. Our objective is to have at least 250 guests in our park at the end of October year 1, with a park rating of at least 600. What I'm going to do in these Let's Play videos is, as soon as I reach the objective, I'm going to end the game. Just give you a wee taste of the different levels. Obviously, if we achieve that before a certain time, then we're going to count that as being a success, because we want you to sort of enjoy the videos and not feel like they're too long. So that's what we're going to do. So let's click on Forest Frontiers. Right, so this is our park. As you can see, we've got nothing built at the moment. We've got a nice bit of land here, and we have our entrance, which is where currently our park is closed, and it's got obviously the name of the park up here, just to show you a few of the controls if you've never played Roller Coaster Tycoon before. This is your park rating, so obviously as time goes on your rating will be anywhere between 0 and 1000, I think it is. So obviously we want to have a high rating of at least 600. This little button shows you how many guests are in the park. Obviously at the moment, because we're closed, we've got none. So we'll keep an eye on that, and hopefully that will go up as time goes on. We can charge admission price for entry to the park. At the moment it's free. What we'll do is, I think we'll charge just £1 entry to get to the park, because any revenue that we get will help us here, but we are going to charge for getting on the rides. sometimes you can charge for park entry or only, and then you can let everybody on the rides for free. I prefer to excuse me, to charge on the rides only because different rides are more popular and less popular than each other, and like the popularity is quite different across the rides. It's also a better way, I think, of controlling the income that you've got in the park. You know, for example, if there's a ride that's not performing very well, you can easily change the prices and things like that. With the park, however, you're very stuck with whatever price you set, which is can be a bad thing. But we are going to charge £1 at the moment. As you can see, it's getting a bit dark. The weather forecast is rain, so I'm probably going to see lots of rain. There we go, right on cue. Obviously, the problem with when it's wet is that there are certain rides where people won't ride on them. I usually like to charge extra for umbrellas when it rains. Terrible, I know, but that's what I do. And little tips and tricks you can do in the game like that. So going back to the panel here, this gives you a bit more information, such as the park size. It tells you the number of rides and attractions, number of staff that we've got. We don't have any at the moment. The number of guests in the park, and the total admissions that we've had to the park. So obviously 0 at the moment. Here we've got our objective, and that just as a reminder to what you have to do. There's also a tab here for recent awards. You get awards for things like being the tidiest park. You get an award for having the most amount of coasters in the country. You get awards for being the cleanest park. You also get negative awards for being the worst park in the UK and stuff like that, or elsewhere in the world. So that's quite an interesting one. So anyway, let's get this park built. Now, one of the first things I'm going to build is a carousel. Now, the reason I do this is because of the music that plays on the merry-go-round. Lots of people hear that, I believe. A lot of people who played this game before. So it encourages people to come to the park. So let's build our merry-go-round now. It tells you obviously the cost, which is £460, and tells you a little bit of information about the ride. So here it's got merry-go-round, and it says it's a traditional rotating carousel with carved wooden horses. So we'll click on that, and you'll notice that's orange. And what we'll do is we'll pop it in the center there, and we're going to create an entrance. Now I'm going to make the entrance here, and I'm going to put the exit there. When you get to your ride, you can obviously select the colouring of it. I'm very used to it being yellow, so I'm going to go back to that because that's a sort of classic Roller Coaster Tycoon 1 look. You can also change the type of entrance that you want. This is actually a feature that you only had in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, but because we're playing obviously the version of the game where you can get all the expansions, etc., you get all these options as well. I've never seen that before. No entrance, open RCT2 only. That's kind of bizarre. I'm not quite sure what that one is. I'll come back to that. But yeah, we'll go for a plain entrance at the moment. Obviously, we've got to build some paths to get to the ride, so we're going to do that. So if we go into the footpath tab, we can select on the entrances types we want. Again, this is a feature of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. In the first game, you only got sort of the blue entrance line, but we're going to try that anyway just now because it's quite a nice colour, the blue, and it contrasts with the green. So we're going to make an entrance there. I'm going to just make that a little bit longer, like there we go, like that. Obviously we've got all the different types of footpaths that you can have, so we'll just keep it the same as what we've got here. So pop that there, so that's our footpath. Going back to the ride, we've got settings for how the ride operates. So for example, here we've got rotation mode, how many times it goes round in one ride if you want for the guests. So we're going to keep that the default at the moment. You can select how long the ride should wait just before it starts. For example, if you want to wait until the whole carousel is filled before it starts, you can set that to wait for a full load. You can also select to wait for a quarter load, a half load, 3/4 load, or a fully load, or any load. So lots of options there. It's also got things like minimum waiting time, so You can have like a minimum waiting time there. Its default is 10 seconds. I'm not really sure why there's a minimum waiting time. I would take that off actually. I want to get them on as quickly as possible, so I'm going to take that off. There's a tab here that obviously tells you reliability. It's 100% just now. As rides age, they become less reliable and they need more inspections by our engineers, like our mechanics. It tells you also the downtime, so if it breaks down, it tells you what percentage of the time that it's down. You can also set how often an inspection is carried out. The more frequent the inspections, the higher the reliability and the less downtime that the ride has. And that also tells you like when it last was inspected. I haven't seen these options before. I think these are maybe features. Oh, ambulance. Yeah, I think these are features of Open RollerCoaster Tycoon 2. So it's forcing it to break down now. I don't know why you would ever want to do that, but that's there as an option. There's an option here saying ride needs refurbished. I imagine that is kind of like a sandbox option in Open RCT, where old rides that are very unreliable, you can reset it back as if it was brand new. So that's a good thing to have, because it can be annoying when that happens, especially for roller coasters. And also, oh, that's an interesting one they've added as well. It says look at the nearest available mechanic. That's a very good option to have, because sometimes you want to know who is closest to fix it the fastest, so that can be really handy, that tool. We've looked at the colour options already. This tells you a little bit about the carousel, so it tells you like the capacity, so you can get 16 passengers. Now you'll notice here I put a path that was like 4 tiles long. I think it does tell you somewhere, but I believe from memory each tile you can have 5 people standing. So because we've got 4, obviously that we can get 20 people in the queue, and then the capacity is always 16. So in theory, each time the ride fills up, there's only going to be 4 people left waiting a little bit longer, but that's okay. 4 is quite a good length, I think, for the carousel. So that's that. There's obviously a music tab. We can play different types of music. For the carousel, you're more restricted on what you can do. You can also call the merry-go-round something different, so we'll take away the 1 and we'll just call it merry-go-round. So you can rename your rides, which is good. That button there also allows you to edit the ride, so you could move it, for example, or you could change where your entrance and exits are. So that's a very handy thing to have. Obviously we've got the price. So at the moment we're charging £1 for entry to this. New ride attraction, Ferris Wheel. We'll come to that in a minute. So yeah, this tells you like how much income the ride's making per hour. You get the running costs. Obviously bigger roller coasters cost a lot more to upkeep, and also you get like a total profit as well. So that's a good thing to have. Click on here, it tells you how many customers are on the ride at the moment. Lots of information here, such as how many customers per hour, how popular it is, how satisfied your guests are with the ride. Tells you how long the queue length is. So you know, and there's lots of times where the queue times are just too long and people are getting frustrated, so you might want to do something about that and change how long the queues are to stop people getting frustrated. So that's a good statistic there to have. Also tells you total number of customers, how many guests think the ride is their favourite, and it tells you the age of the ride, which could be handy if you're having troubles with breakdowns. You might be able to see that, you know, it's 10 years old and maybe needs replaced. So, and you know, for the carousel you could just delete it and rebuild it again. So lots of sort of management decisions you have to make. This bit here shows you guests' thoughts about the ride. Obviously we don't have any guests yet, so this tells you what people are thinking about the ride. This tab shows you the guests that are on the ride, so they might have thoughts even when they're on the ride. Hopefully things like saying they're super excited and the ride's great. Also you got guest thoughts who are in the queue. That could be quite handy to see if anyone's getting frustrated with the length of time that they are waiting. So these are all great options we've got here. This is one of the strengths of the game. It's really good at just the detail, and all these little options have all been thought out and programmed into the game. Very clever, way ahead of its time, which is great. If you want to delete your ride, you click on the trash button. You do get a prompt just asking you if you're sure you want to do that, so we won't click on that just now, but that does come up. Also, if you're elsewhere in the park and you want to go back to the ride, you can click on that button. That takes you back to it. And you also got your open, you can test direction, so we'll test it right now. Let's try that. So our ride is going on test mode. It's always good to do a test of your rides. Not so important for flat rides, but for roller coasters in particular. You want to test them, especially if you made them yourself, the tracks, because you might find out that you don't have enough speed and the roller coaster stops halfway through. So definitely want to test that. We don't want any accidents. So that is a good feature. Another thing that's good about the testing is you'll get all this information now that comes up as a result of the test. So this tells you the excitement rating, which at the moment is 1.34, which is low. And you also got things like intensity. Things like roller coasters can be very intense, or thrill rides. It all depends on the ride. Nausea rating, you want to have that as low as possible. If you've got a nausea rating at all, really, that's the medium and high, that's going to cause people to throw up a lot, so you don't really want to have that at all. So if you can do anything to fix that, then that's a good thing. This button here isn't so relevant for the flat ride, but it's you can save a track design for things like car rides, go-karts, I think, and roller coasters, things like that. You can save the track designs, and then you can save them so that in future, if you have another park you're working on, you can get the track that you built previously and add it to your park. So that's a really good tool. There's tons and tons of downloadable content for this game online, and lots of people have saved some crazy track designs. There are some immense things out there on the internet. Definitely recommend that you have a look at that. Another thing worth mentioning is there are ways that you can increase your excitement rating. For example, if you give people more rotations, that will increase the excitement level, but obviously probably reduce the profit because you've got less people on the ride over a certain amount of time, so that's a bit of a downside. One of the better ways of improving the excitement rating is actually to add scenery around the ride. So there's a scenery tab up here, and you can add all sorts of things. So for example, you can add things like trees. So we'll pick something like these nice pink trees, and I believe any scenery that's placed within 5 tiles of the entrance, so not the ride, I think, could be wrong about that, I'll double check that, but I think it's 5 tiles around the entrance increases the excitement rating. So that'd be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know we're out in the park, but that would, you wouldn't be able to build there, but that's just to give you an example of the space that you're working with. So it's 1.34 just now, so we'll add some trees and we'll just see what happens when we do that. So oh yeah, already it's gone up. It's 1.39 now. So this ride's has gone 1.4, so the excitement rating is going up as we add sort of more scenery. So we'll mix things up a bit. We'll put some more trees in, get a little bit more interesting. Put kind of like a back, kind of I'm not quite sure what I'm doing wrong there. You can also rotate the game, which can be handy. Oh, I see. So we'll get rid of this tree. We are going to replace it, don't worry. So yeah, I've got a tree there. So already the rating has gone way up for this ride. It's gone right up to 1.51, which is really good actually for a ride like the carousel. That's pretty good. We'll add some more trees, I think. We'll add them on this side. We'll add them here, like that, which is great. And I think what we'll do is we'll add some larger trees. Yeah, I think we'll add these trees. Just trying to think what to do here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what we're going to talk about. So what we'll do is we're going to maximize here the scenery. That's gone up to 1.73. That's very good. I'm not convinced with the tree types here, but so again we will just, so we're really making use of the scenery here. We'll add some plants. We can add some plants and stuff, so we'll add them here. I mean, as you can see, what a difference is made to the rating already. We will add some hedges, I think, as well. Make that nice. Whoops, I'll get rid of that one. So yeah, it's very nice. It's quite good. So yeah, I'm just adding lots of scenery. That's pretty much the best we can do. Guess we could try that just to see if that increases the rating. My mouse has stopped working. Oh dear. There we go. It's funny, it does that sometimes. So obviously you can add trees, you can add statues and small trees, cactuses if you want. I'll just turn this around. You've got fountain. You can add fountains. They're quite exciting. Flowers, which I showed you earlier. You can change the color of things. You can. Oh, that's interesting. I've never seen that tool before. You can create like a huge cluster of them. So that's quite a good tool. We'll come back to that and try that out later. You've got fences and hedges, buildings like walls and roofs, things like that. And you've got things like lampposts, and these will increase visitors' appreciation of your scenery in your park. And you've got, let's turn that around again. You've got queue lines. Now they're a feature of Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. And the way they work is if you place them on the entrances, it will reduce people's frustration while they're waiting in the queue. So somebody who might get fed up after 10 minutes of queuing, they might be able to stand for 20 minutes without being too annoyed about the queuing. So that can be a good feature to have, especially if it means taking more people off the paths, which is causing congestion. You can have them in a queue quite happily waiting to go on the ride. They're not getting frustrated, so that's kind of what you want. You've got these sort of these are like entrances for the paths, which you can place, and you can actually set them to be closed or open. So if you want to stop people going a particular way on a path, you can prevent them having access to it. So, well, for example, we could try that here actually. So like, for example, this is the entrance, exit for the carousel. So we don't really want people to be walking up to the exit. There's nothing there, so we will close that so nobody will walk in there. So that's a handy tool to have. It's sort of crowd control. You've got banners you could have. So, you know, we could have a banner and call it carousel here if we wanted. You can get up and down ones. These are really cool things to have for the roller coasters. Miscellaneous objects, not quite sure what that's doing there, but you can research different scenery packs and they will be added here, and that will be part of your park. So yeah, that's just a wee taster of what we've got so far. So I'm just going to save the game. We can save up here. So we'll save as, and you'll notice there's a few of my previous saved games. We're going to make a new file and we're going to call it Let's Play Forest Frontiers. So there we go. I'll just save that just to make sure it's definitely saved. You can also take screenshots of the game if you fancy doing that, or use like game. I'm using action software for recording this game, so you can get that as well if you want. There's also lots of options here. We'll come back to this, I think. There's a lot of features here that are new to Open RCT, so we'll come back to them. Let's get our park open. I'm conscious of the fact that it's June already and we don't have the park open, so we're going to be finding it a lot more difficult to reach the objective, I think, in this game, but we're going to try it. There's a few messages we've missed. So it said new ride attraction now available, Ferris Wheel. New ride attraction available, Log Flume. So we've got some new rides there. Let's get this park open. So we've just opened the park, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to open this up, and we've got some music, which is great. Now I think I got some extra carousel music added here, so online somewhere I think I downloaded it, so it's a nice mix of music. For the pricing, I usually try and charge the price based against what the excitement level is. So for example, we're at 1.74, so I'd probably charge £1.70 for that. And the reason I do this is when we've got lots more rides, it's a way of sort of balancing up the prices amongst them all very well. So like if you've got a ride rating of like 8.0, you could maybe charge like £8 to get on it, but people are not going to complain that 170 is unreasonable when there is a park rating of 1.7. It splits the pricing up a bit better. I notice all sorts of problems start happening as soon as you get very high exciting rides. All the lower exciting rides, nobody wants to ride them, so that's an issue. I'm just going to turn the volume down a bit because it is quite loud carousel music, but it's great music, I love it. Now no one's coming to the park. I don't really know why. Where's everybody? Okay, so hopefully somebody will come soon. In the meantime, let's have a look. So we've got this tab, which is your research and development, and you can research different things. So here we can see there's a shop stall being researched. Tells you what the progress is and when it's expected. So you can obviously look at your date down here, and it's the 22nd of June at the moment. You can look at the research funding. We've got normal at the moment, so we're spending £200 per month. You can set that to less funding or maximise your funding, and you can select like what types of research you want to carry out. So we're just going to do a general sort of research at the moment, which we're quite fine. We're fine with that. That's good. Not really getting anyone in the park here, which is a shame. Right, I think there we go. There's a guest. So we have somebody here called Nelly. Unusual name. So we've got Nelly, and he's not particularly happy right now. He's not too bad. He's half happy. It tells you information such as how much energy they've got left. So the longer in the park, the more tired they get, and that's why they use the benches to get their energy back. Eventually they'll get so tired they'll just want to go home. Tells you if they're hungry or not, whether they're thirsty. Tells you if they're feeling sick, if they need how long before they need to go to the toilet. So if there's a red mark up here, then they'll be wanting to go to the toilet. Tells you what their preferred ride is. So he's got like intensity less than 3. So if we look at this ride, this has got 0.6. So in theory he should quite fancy going on that ride, but he's decided not to on this occasion, so we'll find out why that is. Tells you what rides they've been on. It tells you things like how much cash they've got in their pocket, how much cash is spent. It tells you how much they paid to enter the park and how much they spent on rides and items of food, souvenirs, etc. What's that saying? What was that message? What's he saying? Oh, I'm not paying that much to go on the carousel. Well, that's my theory about the pricing going out the window. clearly he doesn't think it's worth it. Okay. Okay, we'll try £1, because that's what it was originally. He's not very happy. His happiness has gone down since he decided it's too expensive, so that's not good. What we're going to do in the meantime is we're going to build another ride. We're going to create a Ferris wheel, and we shall rotate this around, and we'll build it here. I think we'll build it here actually. Yeah, they're not happy about this. Right, I'm going to do... So far nobody's going on the ride. What are they saying? Nope, not paying that much. I suspect maybe what they're doing here is they're not happy because the park, there's an entrance to get to the park. Right, we're going to change that to free. Okay, there's people coming, but no one's paying the fee. Dear me, this is not good. Okay. So, what is happening right now? Yeah, nobody's really wanting to go on this ride. I don't know what's going on here. Nobody is going on. Just not happening, is it? Right. Let's build another ride. Oh, we have a customer! Finally! Somebody is going on. What we'll do is we'll wait for any load, because we want to get somebody on this ride. Get some money coming in. In the meantime, let's build another entrance. Now the capacity of the Ferris wheel is 32 passengers, so we'll just do the maths, divide it by 5. So we've got about 6. So we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so we want to go like that. There we go. And add our path. Like that. We shall add one of those and stop them going in there. And we'll charge £1. I'll just get that open because we want to get people paying quickly. So we've got some people queuing up. Now I'm conscious of the fact that we are not doing too good here. The park entrance fee is too high. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to build a railway, I think. We're going to build a path that goes over it. So what you can do is you can click on this button here, which means Constructor Bridge. What does it say? Or so we're going to do that, and then we're going to go up, so you can get like a slope. So we can go like up like that. So we'll go like we'll go a bit higher, go like that, and then like that. So we've created a wee bridge thing there. What I'm also going to do is we're going to create a sort of area where people can eat, things like that. So we'll put that together. quickly going to do that. So people are going to get hungry quite soon, so we're going to build a hamburger stall. So we'll pop that there. And we'll get that open. There's an option that you can click on that says same price throughout the park. So we might have 2 or 3 burger stalls, and we want the price to be the same for consistency. So you can select that on. Tells you information about how many burgers have been sold, etc. So that's open. Now I'm going to build some benches quickly because we want people to be able to sit down when they're eating. So we'll just scatter them around. You'll notice I'm doing every second path tile here, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to put bins in the other bits for people to put their rubbish away. That's good. Now I'm going to do that. Now I feel like we need something more thrilling, so let's create something like a log flume. Now you can build your own custom design, you can do your own track, or you can build your log flume using an existing design that the game provides. So there are a few here. So we're going to choose one that we can afford. Some of them are massive. We've got quite a small park, so let's try. To be honest, I think it's better if we create our own one on this occasion. So you can start building your station platform. We'll make it quite long because we want lots of logs. And we'll start building, so we can go uphill like so and make it quite high. Now we get too high, and then we'll go flat, and then we'll go I think we will go this way. So we'll actually go over the top of the track, make it a bit more exciting. And we'll do that. And we'll go down, so we've got a big drop. Like that. Okay, and then we'll go up again. Have a flat bit, and then we'll go down. There we go, so you can do that. And you can add like a right-handed kind of track. We'll do a straight piece, and then we'll do one like that. There we go, so that's looking good. Right, we're now going to build the entrance. Also, a good tip I can give you here is always build your entrance in the direction of where the ride's going to go. So like, for example, a bad move for me to make here would be to have it at the back, because then people that are coming in there have to walk all the way along the station platform to the front log here. So you want to build it here instead, and at the same time you probably want to have the exit at the back, I think. But that's a good. We'll keep an eye on that one, because I'm wondering whether or not your log has to travel right to the front before they come off. So we'll keep an eye on that. So that's that. Now there's going to be 3 boats. No. We're going to have a lot more boats than that. We're going to have 21 boats. Maximum number of logs, because we want to get this ride busy. Want it to wait for full load, because we want to make use of all the space we've got. I want the log to leave when there's another one, because we don't want them getting all stuck here, so we can do that. Let's build our entrance. So there's 21 boats, and you get 4 per boat, so we're talking about is it 80? 84. So you're talking about like 84 divided by 5. So I'd have to do the maths. My mind's just gone blank. I think that's 16. 16, isn't it? Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 1. So we'll do that. Do that. We just, well, 2, we'll do that. Right, so that's ready. So let's get this open. So it's now open, which is great. You can obviously colour the different logs. We're going to keep brown at the moment, but you can change the colour. You can have different colours per boat, which is quite good. What else can we do? Park rating at the moment is 670, which is great. And we've got 96 guests, so we need some more. Let's just have a look at how we're doing. Forest Frontiers. To have at least 250 guests at the end of year 1, so we're doing okay. We'll just let that go up as time goes on. What else can we do? Let's get some thrill rides. So I've not actually showed you this. So if you go to build mode, you can go into thrill section, and we've got things there. So let's build a pirate ship, because they're quite popular. So we'll do that, and we shall build it here, I think. Pop it there, and we'll pop the entrance and the exit, and we can have a look and see. It's 16 passengers, so we're talking about 4 length for the queue. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, and then exit there. Perfect. And then we'll wait for a full load. And yeah, let's get it open. So get that open. Now, something we're going to build is an information kiosk. Now that comes under the shops and stalls section. And you can sell things like umbrellas when it rains, and you can sell park maps. So we're going to do that. Let's pop it here and open that. Now it's actually just about to rain, so it's perfect timing to open that. Here you've got your prices for selling park maps. We'll click that so that it's the same price for everywhere, and you can set the prices there. I've won an award. We've won an award for being the safest park in the country. That's good. That's very good. We don't have any toilets yet, so let's build some toilets because they're going to be needed soon. We'll pop them here and open them. I usually like to charge 10p to set up, keep the toilets. So that's a good thing to do. It's raining, so what we're going to do, we're sneaky, and we're going to charge £3 for a umbrella. As you can see, they've got their red and white umbrellas. You can change the colour, so if we want to change it to blue, there we go. We've got some people with blue umbrellas. You can do all sorts of colours. Do orange now. This is quite good. There we go. Let's do pink. Anyone like pink? Some pink ones. We can have blue, red. Let's have a red one. Oh, we've had red. We have blue. Or white even. Yellow. Cool. So we'll put that back to blue, I think. So there we go. Different colours umbrellas. So it's starting to stop raining now, so we'll put it back to 250. And obviously we can see there we've got a profit of £135.20 per hour, which is good. So we'll do that. We'll just save the game again. One thing that would have been nice in the game that I don't think exists is an option to autosave. That would have been a nice feature to have. So here we can see a problem. People are trying to get off the ride. There's a big backlog. We need to do something about that. We'll take the minimum waiting time off. And I think we'll take that off, make it any load so that we're not got a big blockage. That should help. So here we go. See what difference that's making already. Now let's see what these visitors are doing. Are they actually going to get off? Yes, they do. So they do get off as soon as they reach the station. They don't have to be at the front. So that's good. We put the exit in the right place. Let's see what people are saying. There's a button here called guests, and it's a kind of master view of what people are doing and saying. So it tells you things like, you know, walking on pirate ship, on log flume. We can group by how many guests are doing the same thing. So there's 108 guests walking, which is a lot actually. 36 on log flume. You can change that to see what they're thinking. So the most popular thing at the moment people are thinking is that they're not hungry. So I imagine the Burger Stall is not making very much money. Nope, it's not. So we probably built that a little bit too early. Somebody's saying the log flume is really good value, so we might want to just put the price up a little bit, because it doesn't seem to be. Well, we put the price up quite a lot there, but a lot of people are saying that we're probably charging a bit too little for that. Park maps, good value. So as I say, as time goes on, you can change your prices a little bit to sort of increase your profit while managing your finances. So you can do that. The music is nice here. Oh, that's good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Alright, I'm quite exhausted talking. Still feel like we need some more rides. Let's build another thrill ride. Let's build a twist. Pop that there. Like that. You can get 18 passengers, so we're talking about 4 again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. There we go. Get that open. Now we don't have a huge amount of money. Let's start building our railway. So if you go to gentle rides, sorry, travel rides, it's under here. Miniature railway. Passengers ride in a miniature train which runs along a narrow gauge railway track. So we shall make a custom track. Let's see, we will build it here, I think. We're gonna make it nice and big. Then we can start to build our track. So I'll go straight through here, see if we can actually get through that gap. Yes. Oh, we've knocked a tree down. Okay, that's fine. We'll just. Whoops. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right around the edge of our park. You can build this wherever you want. It doesn't have to be around the edge, but for this particular park, we're going to do that because it works quite well. So we're going to do that. There we go, and special S-bend left. Bear in mind we can plant new trees later in the game. I'm going to do special S-bend left, sort of does that kind of thing. We'll do that again. We'll leave this bit clear because we could put some scenery there. So we'll keep building that. As you can see, we're running out of money, we've only got £500 left. We'll keep going, see how much we can place down. Like that. And we'll make this right to the edge because we want to use this space here. Run out of money. Okay, so one thing you can do is you can click on your money here, which will bring up your finance tab. And you can see we've got a loan of £10,000 at the moment. We're going to need some more money, so we can increase that. Now there's a limit. I think it's maybe 20,000 for this scenario. But we're just going to loan 5,000, and then hopefully what we're going to do is make it back as profit later on, and then we can pay back the loan. But we're going to do that just now. So let's start building it. So that's looking good. Just a little bit short there. There we go. Now you just join up. The game's really good at, as long as you're matching the tiles, then it fits very well. So you don't have to. There's not too much fiddly things you have to do. I'm going to put on this side because there's a lot of people here, and I think it'd be good to get rid of that queue. And then we'll do that one here, I think. Okay. What's the objective? The end of October. Okay, we've actually reached our objective. We've managed to do it. We're just going to let it run, I think. Because it's almost October anyway, so we may as well. I've got one train. We'll get 4 trains, let's go all out. 4 trains, 6 cars. Which means... so 6 per carriage. 36. This is huge. 36 would be... that's massive, what we... 6 cars per train. 36 times 4. Can't be right. It's like 130, isn't it? It's just like 26. 1, 2. Oh my goodness. Okay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, that's crazy actually. Okay, a large queue area. Let's get it open. And we'll wait for full load, but leave if another train, well, doesn't matter at the start, we'll get that one open. There we go. Oh my goodness. Okay, I've never seen that many trains. It must be the length of the platform that's allowing us to do that. Okay. Let's see what everyone's thinking. Log flume, good value. The park is really clean and tidy, so we're doing a pretty decent job at the moment. Oh, yeah, I forgot to put our path from the exit. That's a mistake. There we go. What's the excitement rating for this? No test results yet, okay. We're doing a pretty good job. I don't think we need to build anything right now. I think we're doing a pretty good job. The queues are quite low, so I don't think we need to build anything now. Let's just try and concentrate on getting some money back. We're making some profit. If you hover your mouse over that button, you can see how much profit you're making. So it says £146 per week, so obviously we want to increase that, but we're not in the red, so that's good. So we're doing a good job at the moment. So just about filled the train. There's a good amount of people coming through. New ride attraction, observation tower. That's exciting. Now what we'll do is we will change this operations to leave if another train arrives at the station, because obviously people are going to get stuck at the back waiting here forever to get off if we don't set that. But as we've got people coming in filling up and the train's only halfway around, we won't need to do that right this second. The log flumes are doing pretty good. It's nice to see that there's not a blockage. There are a few empty ones, so that's working really well, having that setting on, I think. This is great. You can also hover on the ride, it tells you how many people are on board. So it's got like 54 people on the ride, which is great. I'm going to set that setting now, because there you go, this train's stopped, so we need to get this train moving. Because it's causing a blockage. So it's good to show you how this works. So as you can see, it's now filling up. And again, the train's leaving early, but it's got plenty of seats and we've got some people coming in, but it's holding up the train at the back, so we've got to keep them moving. Which is quite interesting. I love all these management things in Roller Coaster Tycoon. It's really interesting. It's very well thought out. It makes the game really good. It's definitely getting busy around here. No. Yay, we've done it. So everyone's clapping. Successfully completed Forest Frontiers. Congratulations. Fantastic. Well, I hope I gave you a wee taste of the level and what it's like. We're going to move on to the next one now, and then I'll show you a bit more of the game and the other controls that we haven't looked at. Hopefully we'll build a roller coaster. We haven't seen one yet. Yeah, hopefully this has been interesting for you. As I say, I've not done that many Let's Play videos, and obviously I want to make them a bit more exciting. I'm not used to doing commentaries either, so let me know what you think. If you think it's a bit too much talking, want a bit more action, let me know. As I say, if you follow me on this Roller Coaster Tycoon series, we will pick up the pace as we go along, and as the game goes, as we go into each level. And I can hopefully we can explore together the different features of the game, and then it starts to get really exciting when we start to build stuff quickly, and then we're going to make an ultimate theme park at the end. And I'm going to tell you later on what I'm going to do, but I've got an idea, which is very exciting, and if you keep following me, we'll get to that. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next episode of Roller Coaster Tycoon. For the scenario called Dynamite Dunes.